Hello there, greetings, and welcome to the Simple Path to Wealth Zero Budget Calculator and Baby Steps 1 to 4 template to help you create and build wealth gradually on your path on your way to being a baby step millionaire. I'm your host, UTOMWEN, a Ramsey preferred coach. I'm sure you've gone through the lessons of baby step 1 to baby step 3 and also inclusive of baby step 4. So this template is to guide you in being able to get focused and know where you are in the baby steps. Please, it's important that you go through this Excel template, which I have created following the principles shared by Dave Ramsey in the Baby Step Millionaire, as well as the Money Takeover book that he has authored. So, what do we have here? So, this template goes through the instructions. It says complete only the cells in blue at each baby steps 1 to 4. So, anytime you find a blue cell, that means you need to complete that cell, input your information. So remember, baby step 1, you need to save at least 200,000 naira for a starter emergency fund. Remember, this template and this discussion is centered around an individual living in Nigeria, okay, following the Nigeria economic situation and Nigeria position. So it is typically for a Nigerian used for and fit for all purposes for a Nigerian. So, baby step 1, you need to save 200,000 naira for a starter emergency fund. So, this is the beginning of the baby step. Now, that means every other thing is on hold until you have an emergency fund that is equivalent to 200,000 naira. Then, in baby step 2, you are going to pay off all your debts except your mortgage using the debt snowball that we've already explained. Write out all your debt from the least to the highest and pay them off from the smallest to the largest. The template will also take care of that. Baby step 3, you have to save about 3 to 6 months of expenses in a fully funded emergency fund. Remember, you already have an emergency fund of 200,000 naira saved. So in baby step 3, you are going to build up that emergency fund up to about 3 to 6 times so that you have a minimum of 600,000 and up to 1.2 million. So whatever emergency fund you are building in baby step 3, it should not be less than 600,000, which is for 3 months, so that even if there's a loss of job or basically there are emergencies, you are able to take care of them. So the minimum is 600. So depending on your current income expenses, some can do beyond even 1.2 million, but ensure that the emergency fund is strictly for emergencies. Then baby step 4 is invest 50% of your household income in retirement. So we'll get to baby step 4 as we look at the template. Now remember, step 1 to 3, they, they are to be done in this order. So basically, you cannot go to baby step 2 until you've completed baby step 1. And remember, baby step 1 is emergency fund of 200,000 and for emergencies only. Emergencies only. Those unplanned event or circumstances. Okay, they are emergencies only. And baby step 2 is basically pay off your debt except mortgage that you get to in the later baby step, which is basically baby step 6, pay off your home early. But right now, we're focusing on baby step 1 to 3 and also partly on 4. Now, what is the starting point? Before you start completing the template, the first step is to know your net worth. What are you currently worth? It's very important. Okay, that will determine how you commence the baby step. So your net worth, this is the net worth calculator, which actually talks about your asset and liabilities. So that means anything that is an asset to you, you need to list them in the categories. And if there is a liability, you need to list them in the category. You need to understand first your net worth. So why are we doing this? we said is the baby step millionaire. That means every time you check your net worth, it should be a minimum of 1 million. So it should be 1 million and above. That's what makes you a baby step millionaire, your net worth. Not just because you have an asset. So if someone has an asset of 10 million and then a liability of 12 million, that person is not a millionaire because the person has a net worth of minus 2 million. You see? So despite the asset is 10 million naira, yet his liabilities or our liabilities is 12 million. So that person is not a millionaire because he or she has a negative net worth. So we're talking about your net worth being okay positively 1 million naira and above in your portfolio. So let's quickly go through this. Let's use an example. Let's say you have a land, okay. Let's say you have a land that is worth 500,000. So you impute the value there, okay. Then let's say you have a checking account. That means your current account. You have some money there. Let's say it's 50,000. So make sure whatever you are imputing are not fictitious, they are actual numbers. If you have a savings account or anything in that range, let's say you have 100,000 there. So this is just an instance. And then let's say you have an investment in shares that is worth 100,000. Okay, so complete everything, all the details that you have. So you can see the total asset for this person is 750. Okay, then let's see if we can add something else. Let's say you have a car that is worth 500,000. Okay, let me just use an example. Make sure the value of the car is the current for sale value. That means in the worst case scenario, understand? Because cars actually depreciate in value. So don't go and pick a new used car and use that as the value. Use the worst case scenario. If you're going to sell it in an emergency, what is the likely amount you're going to get to it? That's the first sale value. So that applies to most of the other assets as well. Then liabilities. Let's say your liabilities, you have a mortgage on an estate loan. I'm just assuming, I said, use what is realistic for you, what's actually happening in your life. Let's say you have a car loan that is 200,000 that is left in that car loan. Okay, let's say you have a personal loan that you collected from your office, 300,000 or from somewhere. Okay, then let's say you have other debts that you owe that is 400,000. Okay, so and let's see, let's say I'm just trying to have a negative net worth for the sake of this explanation. Let's say you have okay, let's leave it like that. So basically you can say your net worth in this time is 50 million in terms of deficit, and you have more liability than you have asset. Okay, some may do it, their network will be 100,000. So if we remove this 400,000 for instance and say there was no other debt, you can see your net worth is 350, but that is still not 1 million. That means you're not still a millionaire. So for the person that has a positive net worth, they are closer to being a baby step millionaire than for someone with a negative net worth. So please take that into consideration. So complete this. This you are going to be doing on a monthly basis until you see this change to 1 million naira in terms of net worth, and you are able to maintain it consistently. By the time you pay off all your debt and get to baby step 4, your net worth should basically climb to 1 million naira at the least. So that is the net worth calculator. That is the starting point. Then you go to your budget. So read these instructions as much as possible. These instructions are very concise. These are recommended. So you need to look at your actual, what you're actually spending for each of these items. Then come to the budget calculator. Again, all the cells in blue you need to complete. So expected regular monthly income, your take home pay, what gets to your account. Okay, if you are earning a salary or if you are doing business, what is the net income that gets to your account after you have removed your purchase purchase cost of purchase as well as your sales to get your net income. So let's assume this person earns 200,000 naira monthly. Okay, and is there any additional income or side also? If there is none, you leave it at zero. So that means your gross expected monthly income is 200,000. Okay, so now remember, this is a zero budget we are doing. A zero budget means you are telling your money, okay, telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. That was by John Maxwell. So a zero budget do not mean negative. It means that every money that you receive for that month is allocated for a purpose. Okay, we've done some basics here. So we have empty space here. You can include others that you want to include. We just cover the basics. So, but you have other categories you want to include, you just include them here. This table has been formatted. So, tithe is 10%. You pay your tithe, that's 20,000 if you're to pay. Then, let's say savings, you want to save 10% as well. Then what do you spend on food? Okay, so if you know how much you spend on food, find what percentage is that. Let's say you spend 5% on food. So then shelter and housing, assuming you are paying house rent. Okay, remember the recommended is usually between 25 to 35 or 20 to 35. Let's say you are spending 30%. So if you are spending more than 35%, if you are spending more than 35%, okay, on your current rent, okay, that means you need to consider doing something else about that rent to move to a shelter that fits your purpose. Okay, then clothing. Now, be looking at this, you can see this is already 60%. It must get to 100%. And you see what is shown here under budget. That means you have 40% to cover for. That is saying under budget. As it is 60%, you must get to exactly 100%. So let's say clothing, you're spending 10% on that. Your health is spending 10%. Okay. Then education, you're spending 10%, or let's even say 15%. Okay. Transportation, you're spending 5% on transportation. Okay. So let's see our table. You can see it's already zero budget already. So what if you have other stuff that are here? See why the zero budget is very important. Let's say you are doing fun stuff, entertainment and the rest, and you are allocating 5%, and you are doing gift and charity, you are allocating 2.5% to gift and charity, offerings and the rest of them. And you come here, you can see you are over budget. So what do you need to do? You need to reduce to 100%. So that is where the zero budget comes in. So the question is, you look at everything you are doing here. What areas can you reduce? Okay. So maybe you start considering moving to a lower apartment. Okay, that will do only 30% of your income, but that may take you up to the next month. What are you doing in the immediate? Maybe clothing. Okay, maybe you reduce your clothing to 5% and spend less on clothing. So what does that leave you with? It leaves you with about 2.5% left. So it's okay. What other area? Okay, transportation, fun stuff. Say this month I'm not doing anything fun stuff. Okay, I take it to zero. I will have to sacrifice my fund for this month. So we are 97.5. So what if I increase my gift and charity to 5%? Okay, or you increase your savings by that remaining 2.5%. So 2.5, 12.5, 12.5, and you see, so what do you have? Sorry, 12.5. So what do you have? You have 100% zero budget. You can see what we are talking about. So let's even assume we are not increasing that. You can see I am playing around with the budget to ensure it's 100%. Let's say I want another item here that I want to call it what will I call this item? Let me just say it is called debt. Okay, I want to start saving to pay off my debt. Let me see, put that 2.5% there. So you can see it goes back to 100%. So I can decide to see, you can see right now you are telling your 200,000 where it needs to go. That's what we are doing. That is called a zero budget. So that means if something in that month happens and it's not in your budget, that means it is not necessary, or it's only when it's an emergency that you think about it. So if you are going to go to the cinema because your phone stuff is zero, that means you have to forget cinema for that particular month. Okay, or you are going to buy as well be social stuff, you need to forget that for that month. Okay, because it's not within your budget. So budget tells your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. And it enables you to spend better. It enables you to be focused. Now your savings are started growing 10%, and your tithe is consistent, and you are seeing your shelter. You're already considering, maybe I need to. You are allocating 70,000 naira every month to your shelter. So that means 70 times 12, about 840,000. So maybe you start considering, maybe 840,000 is very expensive for me. I need to move to a different accommodation that I pay 500,000. So this might now reduce to, let's see, 25%. So 25%. So you now be paying at up to about 600,000 for the renter. And you can see, what does that do? It automatically give you 10% left because you're under budget. And so what if you take that 10% and add it to your savings, 20%? So you can see you are building up your savings already. This is 40,000 times 12. That's a minimum of 480,000 at the end of the year. So this is what zero budget does. You are able to move items around and ensure they are properly budgeted, and you have a zero budget in place. So when you've done your zero budget, now for that month, let's say this is February, February 2025. So anytime you spend any amount, you come here to put it. So if you have paid your tithe for that month, okay, you put the 20,000 there. What if you have already done the savings? Maybe you've done the 40,000 naira savings, you do it there. So you are spending the actual. So what if food, instead of spending 10,000, you now spend 8,000, okay? For that month. So what if your shelter, okay, you spend the 50,000, so it is allocated 50,000, it has not changed. Okay, let's say clothes, they didn't buy any clothes that month, you actually spent zero. So you do the actual, and you're able to look at this table to see what you are spending, what you spend so far for each month. So you can see you are living within your means. As long as the net balance is positive, that means you are living within your means. If you want to be a baby step millionaire, we said there are three ways to increase your income. One, you reduce your expenses, your spending. That automatically give you a margin. If you used to spend 80 naira out of 100 naira, and you now reduce it to 60 naira, that means you automatically have a 40 naira margin instead of the previous 20 naira margin. And secondly, find stuff that you need to sell. If you have more stuff that you need, which are just one, maybe an extra pair of shoe, extra pairs of this, extra jewelry, extra this, extra that, that you don't really need, sell them off, and that automatically becomes part of your saving. And lastly, side hustle. If your side hustle is zero, or you just starting, increase your side hustles, do more than you can do. Because at this stage, you need to make sacrifices. Remember, the baby step millionaire is not a get rich quick scheme. Okay, it's a gradual process. For some, it may take them 5 years, 10 years to get to baby step 4. But what is important is that you must follow the step one after the other. The sequence cannot be broken. Okay, it's a proven methodology that has been used for over 30 years, and the sequence cannot be broken. All right. So imagine at the end of the month, you spend, let's say, for other items, you decide to incur more debt. Instead the month of debt, let's say you borrowed more money, 150,000 for that month. Okay, now see what happens to your summary table. You've exceeded your budget by 68,000, and you say you are living beyond your means. Why are you living beyond your means? So it's not about the quantity of your money, it's about the quality of your lifestyle. So this is not a math problem, it's a behavior problem. So you need to change your behavior for your finances to change. So it's not about the volume or the quantity of the money, it's about your lifestyle. So financial prosperity is 80% behavior and 20% math, head knowledge. So you need to change your behavior to improve. So what if you didn't borrow, and at the end of the day you have an extra 82,000? This goes to your next month and improve your savings for that month. So instead of 40,000 that you have saved, it may now get to 80,000, and that may not be even 41%. You're able to save 41% for that month, basically. So you can see what happens. So that becomes 82,000 that you save, and this becomes 82,000. Let's see. So you can see that basically you are improving what you save for that month. 116. Okay, what did I delete? 5,000, 50,000. 82,000. Okay, I've not included other budget items. So let's say you spend other budget items 20,000 here, and your education is allocated and used up the 30,000. Then you've used let's say for transportation, you use 9,000. You're able to save some money there. So you are with this calculator, you are able to see where you are making savings. Okay, so you can see 219. Okay, and sorry, basically, so this still remains 20% rather. 20%, so that we are on zero budget. So that's zero budget, 200,000. Okay, so where are we overshot ourselves? So this becomes the extra in the savings. So we need to remove 19 from there. So this is 82 equals 82, and just minus 19,000. Let's see, 200. So you can see that instead of all these other categories, gifts and charity, you didn't spend anything. Let's even assume you did gift of 5,000, okay, of 5,000, and there is no debt. So we'll come back to this place and remove the 5,000. That's now 4. Okay, 210. Let's see, that's 78. 220. So 220, right, extra 20,000. 2. Okay, so you can see that basically instead of saving 40,000, you save 58,000 because you reduce expenses in this area. You can see the margin created. So you have an extra 18,000 that goes to your savings for that month. So you can actually track your expenses. So all you need to do is your actual, you need to monitor it as much as possible, reduce your expenses. So imagine now instead of doing a 25% shelter, okay, you're not doing 20% shelter. That is going to change drastically. So again, it's a zero budget. You can see zero budget, and this table shows you where exactly you are. You are living within your means. Okay, basically anything more than that is going to turn to red, saying you are living above your means. So remember, always put your actual. So it doesn't matter. Okay, so what if your actual, as I said, what if your actual, you've done additional 50,000 here? You can see 250,000 that you spent. So that means you are living beyond your means. So that means for the next budget, you need to find out those areas, the things that you need to reduce in order to come back to within budget. So this is very important in achieving a zero budget. So you must find where you need to reduce your expenses in order to always keep a zero budget in place. Okay, so that deals with the budget, and that is the beginning of taking charge of your finances. If you have no budget, then I don't know what to say. So you go to baby step one. This is the beginning. Your baby step one is to save 200,000 naira emergency fund. Now you ask yourself, how long will it take me to save this fund? For some people, they can do it immediately. That's just within 1 month. For some, it take 2 months. For some, it take 3 months. Let's say it's taking 3 months. That means you need to save 66,000. Okay, but look at your budget again. Okay, if you follow this 58,000, so that means we can take this to 4, and it's going to fall within that range, 50,000. So that means when you save 58,000 naira continuously in 4 months' time, you should be able to have 200,000 minimum as your emergency fund. So this is it. So every month you are monitoring it. Today is 1st February. So how much have you saved today? If you save 20,000 today, if you save 58,000 based on your savings, so let's see what happens. 58,000, the incomplete emergency fund. In 2 months' time, okay, in 2 months' time, you would have saved how much? So that's times 2 of that, times 2. Okay, you'd have saved 160,000, the incomplete emergency fund. In 3 months' time, you would have saved 174, is still incomplete. Okay, in 4 months' time, let's see what happened. In 4 months' time, if you follow your budget, you would have saved 232,000 your emergency fund, and baby step one completed. Congratulations. You see, just simply following the template without breaking the pattern. Ensure you have a zero budget. Okay. So even if your savings here was only the 40,000, okay, that means it's going to take you 5 months. If you do 40,000, okay, but at the end of the fifth month, okay, you would have saved your emergency fund, okay, which is basically this amount. You are doing 40, okay, you'd have saved exactly 200 and times 5, 40 times 5. Sorry, there is a zero there. 40, exactly 200,000. So it's why I said, depending on your savings, right, you should be able to achieve your emergency fund, okay, within a reasonable time frame. So if you can do it immediately, remember there are three ways to increase your income. If you need to sell some of your stuff to create an emergency fund, fantastic. If you need to reduce your expenses, as we did in this budget, to increase to 58,000, fantastic. Okay, if you need to get additional side also and add that income to your savings, fantastic. But you must achieve in baby step one a minimum of 200,000 naira as an emergency fund locked away in a special account. Remember, this is not an investment account. We are not looking for high rate of returns, and it's not an account that is easily accessible. That is, it's not even, it may not even be on your debit card, but it's somewhere safe, okay, and not reachable in time. So remember, it's only for emergency. So when you achieve this, let's say you've done that in 5 months' time, congratulations, you now move to baby step two. And this is where we are in baby step two. What is baby step two? Pay off all your debt except mortgage on the house. That is baby step two. So if you have debt, list all of them from the least to the highest. Let's say you have three debt. One is 10,000, the other is 25,000, okay, and the last one is 100,000. So leave them, list all of them, okay. Now you can see, because you've done your emergency fund, you now focus on clearing off all your debt from the least to the highest. That's what you're going to do. So you have pay off your debt. So let's say debt one, that's what is focused on using the snowball method. What is the minimum you can do here? Okay, if you can do 5,000 every month, okay, you do that. So let's say at the end of 2 months, you've paid off your 10,000. Okay, so that 10,000 becomes part of what you already have here, because you're not used to having 10,000. So if you pay 10,000 out of you, you're left with 15,000. Pay that 10,000 off, you are left with what? 5,000, and pay 5,000 off, you would have cleared 25,000. So you can see now you've already put a portfolio of 35,000, okay, that you can use to clear up this off. And let's say in another 6 months' time, you've cleared this 100,000 off, okay. So it may take some people 1 year, 2 years, 3 years to pay off their debt. But again, start from the smallest debt to the largest debt. No matter the interest on that debt, this is the proven method that works. Start from the lowest and start paying off. Do what you call the snowball, the debt snowball. So pay it off. By the time you clear it off, you can see baby step two completed. Congratulations. Now you can proceed to baby step three. So what happens if you have an emergency here? And you now spend from your 200,000. Let's say you spend from it now left 100. You pause baby step two and ensure you build up your emergency fund again to 200,000 before proceeding again to baby step two. So it's always important you maintain your emergency fund. Okay. Then baby step three. Baby step three is 3 to 6 months fully funded savings and expenses. This is where the emergency fund you started in baby step one, you now build it up for about 3 to 6 months, depending on your lifetime and expenses. So if you are going to save for 200,000 in month one, okay, 200,000 in month two, okay, you can see it's still saying savings incomplete. If you save a minimum of 200,000 in month three, okay, you can see it's now showing you that you saved 600,000. So that may be all you need, okay, for you to move on. So you now come here, and so you are going to save 3 months of emergency fund. So when I say month one, it may take you 2 months or 3 months to save this particular amount. Okay, when you say month two, it may take you more than that to save this particular amount. So amount saved. So let's assume you save up to 200,000 and it took you 3 months. Okay, then for uh, 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 for the next 200,000, maybe it took you another 4 months and you save another 200,000. So, and for the next uh, for the expected third tranche, it took you another 2 months, you save another 200,000. Now see what happens. Okay, another 200,000. So you can see baby step one completed. If your target was to do 3 months, if your target is to do 6 months or 4 months or 5 months, ensure you complete all the details. So if you're supposed to do 4 months, okay, that means you must complete up to the 4 months, but the minimum required is 3 months up to 6 months. Okay, so that you've completed baby step three, and then you can now move on to baby step four. So we'll take baby step four in a different lecture or in a different discussion. So again, read the instructions on the template. Okay, do your net worth is very important. This is the starting point. Every month you must come back to this template. So let's assume you finish month one, okay, and your savings have now increased by 58,000. Remember the initial one. So this now becomes 158,000. Okay, remember, look at here. Your net worth here was 350. Okay, so because you added additional 58,000 to your net worth, 158,000, they now become 158,000. See what happened from 350 that moved to 408. So let's say you are already in baby step three, and 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 you pay off some of your debt in baby step three. Okay, let's assume the debt you have a car loan and you've paid all the car loan. It's now zero. Can you see? Your net worth is now 608. You are getting to being a millionaire. So it's possible for you to become a baby step millionaire if you follow this simple strategy. These are proven methodology that have helped millions of people around the world. Okay, so don't try and modify it and say I will start with baby step four. No, follow the simple. Okay, it's a simple instruction. Start with your net worth, do your zero budgeting, find areas you can reduce your expenses. Start with baby step one, say a minimum of 200,000 naira as emergency fund. Go to baby step two and itemize all your debt from the least to the largest, and then start settling it from the list until you get to the final one. Then you can now move to baby step three, where you start uh, a fully funded emergency fund of about 3 to 6 months, so that even when you lose your job or there are emergencies, you can at least for 3 months not be afraid of taking care of your basic necessity, which is food, shelter, okay, utilities, and part of your transportation. Those are the four basic necessities of life. So you are able to take care of them with this emergency fund. This is the essence of creating a fully funded emergency fund for about 3 to 6 months. So this is very important before you move to baby step four, which we'll discuss in our next section. So until we meet again, you take care and remember, it's a simple path to wealth. Okay, he that gathereth wealth hastily shall be held guilty or shall not go unpunished. But wealth gathered gradually shall increase in value. So remember that a word is always enough for the wise, and everyone, no matter the salary you earn, the income you earn, you can become a baby step millionaire. So that every time you look at your net worth, it's more than 1 million naira. You continue to reduce your liabilities while you continue to increase your assets. Okay, we'll be having other sections talking about savings, talking about investment, talking about improve budgeting and spending, how to spend, how to save, how to invest, and a whole lot of that other stuff, where to invest in, different kinds of platform. Okay, remember, okay, the responsibility for your life lies with you. It doesn't lie with me, it doesn't lie with anyone. You need to take responsibility for your life and for your actions. Okay, you can definitely become a baby step millionaire. Take care and God bless you.